The sun dips low over Marrakech National Park, painting the sky in streaks of deep red and gold. A hush settled over the vast grasslands, as if the earth itself were holding its breath. Tall blades of grass swayed gently, their tips aflame in the dying light, while distant trees cast long, dusky shadows across the plain. In this serene moment, a pride of lions appeared. A single male, with a mane like spun sunlight, followed by 5 lean, powerful females whose eyes glowed with fierce intent. What prey they sought was anyone's guess, but their silent coordination betrayed years of practiced teamwork, setting the stage for a story neither of them could have imagined next. The male lion padded forward with a confident stride, each movement precise and deliberate. Behind him, the lionesses melted through the grass like living shadows, their muscles rippling beneath tawny coats. They sniffed the air, searching for a hidden scent. ... Scanning the horizon for any sign of movement. Marrakech was famed for its rich biodiversity. Herds of antelope, lumbering elephants, even rare birds of prey. But it was also scarred by human greed. Poachers lurked in the forest's heart, setting cruel steel traps to ensnare rhinos for their horns. The pride, absorbed in its hunt, moved deeper into that danger zone, unaware that a different kind of hunter had laid a trap not meant for them. It was the male lion's keen nose that first detected something amiss, a metallic tang on the breeze, sharp and foreign. He paused, ears twitching as he isolated the strange scent, then stepped off the beaten path to investigate. In an instant, a heavy steel clamp snapped shut round his hind leg, driving him to the ground in agony. His roar shattered the stillness, echoing like thunder through the trees. A raw cry of pain that sent the lionesses racing back. They encircled their king, bodies tense, eyes wide with alarm. What began as a proud, silent march now turned into frantic cries for help no one could yet answer. The trapped lion bucked and twisted, each movement sending fresh waves of pain rippling through his leg. His deep roar faded into ragged groans as he tried and failed to pry the iron jaws apart. Blood welled around the wound, each heartbeat a cruel reminder of how tight the trap's grip had become. The lionesses pressed close, bodies brushing against him as though offering comfort, their soft growls mingling with his whimpers. None dared venture too near the gleaming steel, yet none would leave his side. Time stretched onward, sun sinking beyond the horizon, and still they stayed, guardians in a circle of silent devotion. Night began to fall in smoky purple hues, and the air cooled. The lionesses took turns lowering their heads to lick the wound, their rough tongues cleansing away blood and grit. They stood watch through the growing darkness, ears swiveling at every rustle in the underbrush. The forest seemed to hum around them, crickets chirping, distant trees creaking. Still no help came, only the pride's unwavering solidarity, a testament to bonds forged by years of shared struggle. Then, like a distant echo, came the sound of an engine, a solitary ranger making his afternoon rounds before heading home. Cabello eased his vehicle along the dusty track, routine on autopilot, until that low, tortured growl stopped him cold. He killed the engine and sat in silence, heart thundering. The noise came again, more urgent this time, so he climbed out and crept toward the sound. Through the trees, he saw it, a great male lion lying helpless, one hind leg caught in a rhino trap, so old and cruel it might have claimed many victims before. Behind him, 5 lionesses crouched protectedly, muscles coiled, eyes locked on this strange human interloper. For a moment, Cabello froze, torn between fear and compassion, knowing that if he didn't act, the poachers would return and the lion would die a slow, horrific death. He took a steadying breath. Night was closing in fast, too fast for him to drive back and raise an alarm. If he waited, the lion would bleed out, or worse, the lurking poachers might hear that wounded roar and return with guns. Decision made, Cabello fumbled for his tranquilizer gun. Though he hoped he wouldn't need it, he stepped forward. Hands held high, voice low and soothing. The lionesses rose to their feet, a concert of growls warning him back. But they did not advance. The trapped lion lifted his head, whimpering, as if recognizing help when he saw it. Sweat trickled down Cabello's temples as he set the dart gun aside. He needed both hands free. The iron trap felt like ice against his fingertips. every jagged edge pressing into his palm. He braced himself, planting his feet in the soft earth, and began to lever the jaws apart. The chain, wrapped tight around the lion's leg, refused to budge, so he dug in deeper, muscles straining, mind racing the clock. With every inch of progress, the lion hissed in pain, a harsh, guttural sound that still didn't deter him. 4 of the females inched closer, tails flicking, eyes bright with both fear and trust. But the lead lioness kept them at bay with a low, warning rumble. Minutes stretched on, each one a battle of wills. Cabello's arms shook, joints screaming. But at last, there was a creak, a crack, and the trap sprang open. The lion let out a roar that shook the nearby trees. A sound of release and agony all at once. Cabello snatched up the heavy iron jaws and dashed back to his truck, adrenaline fueling his limbs. He flung the trap into the trunk, then returned with his medical kit, fumbling for antiseptic, gauze, bandages. The lion lay still, panting in ragged huffs, as Cabello knelt to work, breath pluming in the cooling air. He bright red blood staining the white cotton, and muttered curses at the poachers who had set this cruel snare. Gently, he wrapped the leg in sterile gauze, each layer a promise that the lion could live. Finally, he withdrew a syringe of mild stimulant, something to steady the big cat and clear his head. The needle slid in smoothly, and though the lion flinched, he did not snap. Instead, he allowed the medicine, trusting this odd, brave human. All around, the lionesses watched in disbelief as Cabello worked quickly, every movement guided by respect and urgency. Darkness fell completely, and a chill wind rustled through the brush. Cabello packed up his supplies, heart still hammering, and climbed into his truck. But before he could start the engine, he heard a subtle shift behind him. Carefully, he turned to see the male lion on unsteady legs, head lowered, as if testing his strength. The stimulant was working. Inch by inch, he planted that wounded paw, stepped forward, and stood tall, wobbly, yes, but free. The 5 lionesses closed in, their bodies pushing against him in a flurry of relief. They nudged and licked him, silent tears, or whatever passes for tears in a lion's heart, of gratitude. From where he watched, Cabello felt a lump rise in his throat, and then, in that charged moment, the lion turned his head and fixed his golden eyes on Cabello. In the dim glow of moonlight, those eyes were calm, intelligent, and oddly thankful. A silent bond. Invisible yet powerful, passed between man and beast. Cabello dared a nod, a quiet farewell, and slipped back into his seat. As the engine sputtered to life, he glanced in his mirror. The pride stood motionless, silhouettes against the night sky, watching him go. He drove off, heart swelling, unwilling to look away too soon. The park swallowed the taillights, and the whisper of grass on the breeze was the only witness to what had happened. From that day forward, every afternoon on his way home, Cabello passed the rescue site. He'd slow the track to a crawl, glance toward the trees, and without fail, a male lion would emerge from the dim brush and fall in beside the car, keeping pace for almost 5 kilometers before melting back into the wild. The lionesses crouched just out of sight, eyes bright but peaceful. At first, Cabello thought it a trick of light, but then he knew. This was the lion's way of saying thank you. That daily ritual became Cabello's favourite moment. The road lined with waving grass, the soft rumble of an engine, and the steady, silent stride of a king of beasts at his side. It reminded him why he became a ranger. Not just to guard animals from harm, but to share this planet with them, in trust and respect. Every time he saw those trusting eyes, he felt nature's magic all over again. Dear friend, thank you for taking the time to follow this story. If this tale of courage and compassion moved you, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more of these incredible wildlife adventures to light and ensures that stories like Cabello's keep inspiring us all. We'll see you next time, out in the wild.